In this session, we will be looking at asset building. The objectives of this session are to enable us to learn how to set up and implement an asset building scheme as a non-profit organization, also to equip us with fundamental concepts, basic knowledge and skills on asset building. We hope that by the end of this module, we would have explored the various types of assets that an organization can lease out. We will be able to write an organizational strategy on asset building, and we'll be able to create an organizational action plan for implementation. In this session, we will be looking at the introduction to asset building, types of assets within an organization, the key features of asset building as an alternative funding model source, the benefits of asset building, and of course, the challenges that asset building comes with. We will also be looking at potential users of asset building and practical tips for a better asset building. Now, asset building refers to a resource, and by resource we are talking about the material, intellectual, or technical that is owned or controlled by an individual or an organization, and that has the potential to generate cash. Asset building, once again, refers to a resource owned or controlled by an individual or an organization, and that has the potential to generate cash. There are different types of assets. These could be current assets or long-term assets or fixed assets. With regards to current assets, these could include cash, marketables, securities, account receivables, and prepaid expenses. For long-term assets or fixed assets, these are subdivided into two categories: the intangible and the tangible. For the intangible long-term assets, these include softwares, royalties, patents, copyrights, franchises, and trademarks. For the tangible long-term assets, we have land, building, office equipment, vehicles, furniture and fixture, and computers. It is important to know that these tangible long-term assets can be a source of alternative resource generation for our organization. And so it's important for us to critically examine how we can leverage on these tangible long-term assets to generate alternative sources of funding. Some key features of asset building include all the activities that have to do with leasing of organizational assets or properties. Asset building has to be implemented within a specific period of time, and this has to be done under set terms agreed between the organization and a third party. And some of the possible items that your organization can consider for asset building include conference rooms, halls, office space, chairs, and documented resources, among others. Also, it requires strong organizational assets, so modern technology, the safety and excellence in service delivery. In all, you need to be customer-oriented and offer quality service. Some of the benefits of asset building include the following. 1, it creates room for the generation of unrestricted funds. Secondly, asset building can help your organization to absorb the cost of maintenance of your facility. Third, asset building enhances the organization's visibility. Fourth, asset building can help your organization to build reserves to possibly expand the organization's existing facilities. And of course, asset building gives revenue that covers costs related to daily operations. Asset building comes with challenges. These challenges include: 1. It could bring about damage to your facilities. There could be a low return on investment. There could also be a conflict of interest with the landlord of the facility when it is owned by an external party. It can bring about contention with tax authorities within your country, so it is important to look at the legal framework within your country. 5th, there are risks of diversion of revenue generated from the renting of these facilities to cover other extraneous costs that your organization may be incurring. And 6th, there is the reputational risk, wherein the perception by some stakeholders of you as a money-driven organization. However, it is important to clarify this quickly by your organization that the revenue generated is reinvested within your organization to support, to scale up your social impact. Some potential users of asset building include service delivery organizations that have facilities and create available space to use these facilities for that purpose, and organizations that offer capacity building services. Some tips for a better asset building, tips that will enable you to make the most use of your asset building facility include: 1. Map out the potential assets within your organization. Advertise these available facilities with your partners and other stakeholders. Offer a better or competitive price. Have a strong accountability system for the asset management. And of course, assure regular maintenance of these assets. In all, asset building can be used by service delivery organizations or organizations that have facilities and can create the available space to use these facilities, as an asset building entity, and organizations that offer capacity building services, you can also make use of asset building. It is important within the scope of your work to see if you fit within these and see how best you can leverage on asset building as a model to generate alternative resources for your organization. We invite you to take this survey to assess what you've learned, and that will enable us to know how best to improve on this. Thank you very much.